Welcome everybody to Focus on Profits course number 7, Recession-Proofing Your HVAC Residential or Commercial Business. My name is Wendell Bedell. I'll be today's facilitator. Okay, first we have just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm required to explain and disclose our copyright and disclaimer because we're going to be showing you some business processes that can make money for you, but you're obligated to do it per law and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, because we don't control your business, here it is. Many of the materials posted to this Focus on Profits webinar series recording are protected by copyright law. They are provided as is. An attendee user acknowledges that there are no warranties, representations, covenants, or agreements other than those set forth expressly herein. The agenda that we'd like to follow today is first give you a brief introduction to who the Ready-Built HVAC Contractor training program is, and then why poor profitability is so prevalent in the HVAC industry, and why recession-proofing requires a plan. And then what is a 7-step recession-proofing approach that you can use to be successful? And then last, spend a couple of minutes talking about the Ready-Built HVAC program and the various pricing options that you have available to you to acquire the programs that we're going to be talking to you about today. A little bit about who we are. We were founded back in 1998 as a retail, residential, and commercial HVAC contracting training organization. And today we boast over 2,500 active contractors in our network throughout the US and Canada. However, what really makes us different is that we were the first in the industry to set up and update on the contractor's behalf retail residential flat rate service repair and installation pricing guides. We were also the first in the industry to have researched and compiled and built an integrated ready-built retail residential or commercial service contractor, complete with website and departmental processes, forms, staff job training, and live implementation support right at the contractor's desktop. And then of course we were also the first in the industry to provide a 100% money-back guarantee for any program that contractors purchase from us. Now let's take a look at some contractor testimonials on our Ready-Built lead generating website, professional service call and sales call handling, opportunity assessments, pricing and work delivery systems and forms, of which have proven to help harvest more of your market opportunities while maximizing your profits. Well, the first thing is having a consumer-friendly website that reaches replacement buyers so you can generate leads for replacements. This testimony from Robert White says, "This website is the best thing since pockets were put on t-shirts. I'm serious. You saved me thousands of dollars in costly website services and from working with people where I had to do all the content work myself. The best part is you also provided me with a consumer-friendly website design with proven built-in lead generator for both service and replacements." Next, when you're on a service call, is to have proven processes to generate leads. The first 10 days of the month, we secured 2 jobs for our replacement crews. The remainder of the month, we secured 19 jobs. I attribute our amazing improvement to your turnkey service call handling system. Bill Efert, Service One AC out of Florida. One of the key things for profitability and growth in today's market is to arm your technicians with upfront pricing so that you can make a fair profit without alienating your consumer customer. Since we began using the fixed rate, flat rate pricing, no technician who worked with it wanted to go back to the time and material method. More consumer friendly, no math, no taxes, and almost no writing. No pressure. They simply love it. Alan Purser, Automatic Climate, Virginia. If you use selling text, then you should have proving service call handling processes that allow your selling text to succeed. Our selling techs love your upfront price book. The company presentation portion has professionalized our company and is helping us convert more no heat, no cool calls to a replacement and system enhancement sale. Rick Johnson, J.E. Johnson, Michigan. And if you're a commercial contractor, our commercial service and design build programs are a must. Here's a little word here from Chuck Browning. Your commercial service agreement standard operating procedures and AccuPro estimating program have helped us grow our commercial service agreement sales. The maintenance tasking and sales performance accountability gives structure and accomplishment to the team. You have given us a professional look to our proposals and presentations, which we feel has created more value to our customers and increased our closing ratios. And as a testimonial to the quality of our programs, our training programs and our websites and our price books won first prize at Comfort Tech 2010. Great. Thank you for your patience for our little mini commercial. Now let's dig into recession-proofing your HVAC residential or commercial business. Proven processes to harvest more on all service and sales calls. Well, here are three common questions that we like to ask. Do you wish the phone would ring more? Do you wish to make more money? Would you like to have more free time? Did you know that there are roughly 289,000 contractors in the U.S., throughout the U.S.? They all share a single common goal that they all want to be successful for their families, their employees, their customers, and naturally for themselves. However, the average contractor makes only about 2.3% net profit before taxes. That's why over 10% of the HVAC contracting companies experience serious cash flow problems and may suffer business failures each year. Now, what are the symptoms of poor profitability or something wrong with the business, especially the HVAC business? The first one is poor cash flow. The second, cyclic revenues. Third, poor employee retention. And fourth, poor customer retention. Now, why is this? Well, when you dig down deeper underneath the layers, you'll see that there's an absence across the board of defined operating processes. Most contractors tend to underprice as a primary closing mechanism for service and replacement work. And many have low close rates. That means they miss 35 to 65% of their opportunities. They lack appreciation for a value-added sales process. They tend to use reactionary selling versus proactive selling. They tend to have a lack of a company brand differentiation. They're all going out as Me Too contractors. They have general marketing skills. Many have poor or no lead generation. It's truly feast or famine. They tend to lack financial management skills or business mix tracking so that they know if they're making money or not. So why, what is the result? Well, the analogy is like a bucket full of water. You use lead generation to get the flow going. And if you have good selling process, you get it comes out the other end, so it comes out as water. However, if you have defects in your delivery and staging errors, or poor credit and payment terms, or you have poor employee retention, poor labor forecasting, poor job financial tracking, poor quality control, poor job training, poor cash flow, poor pricing methods, poor customer retention, poor recruiting, poor productivity, and poor inventory control, you bleed all over the place, which results in about the average contractor truly making only about 2.3% net. So, this brings us to the point, why recession-proofing requires a plan. So you don't want to be reinventing the wheel, but recession-proofing is all about good management. And good management is all about the requirement of setting specific objectives and then tracking and following up to make sure you get there. Okay. And without a plan, it's difficult to get where you want to go. So we encourage you to think of a business improvement plan as your unique business GPS to guide you through implementing a recession-proofing business plan. And right now, we open the gates up. You don't need to pay for anything. This model has already been built. You can actually have access to a free customized business improvement plan today in about 30 minutes by simply visiting and answering basic yes/no questions. The actual plan is sent to you in a PDF file, but also to a business consultant. So if you wish to talk to us, give us a toot and we'll pull it up and go through it with you. But it's really designed to be customized to your business. Identifies based on your greatest profit gain potential to least which of the business departments to work on first, second, and third. The plan is pretty powerful. You just plug in some very basic yes/no questions. There's about 77 questions based on each of the departments we ask you about, whether you're residential or commercial or both. At the very end, you put in some very basic financial information. You just want to, all you want to do is get close. So it's not about, putting exact numbers in. Put ballpark numbers in. If you need to run it again, go ahead later, but it takes you no time to do it. But what the plan gives you is where the money is within your business to improve your business, profits, or enhance, which drives profits up. But the report tells you what your cash engine's worth right now. What is your business cash engine worth, what it could be worth, and what department has the greatest gain in profit potential for you to be focusing on. So when we meet with you, if you ever come on board with one of our programs and we meet with you, we actually have a guide to which we help you immediately get, improve your business. So what is the 7-step recession-proofing approach? Now, most professional business turnaround consultants in no matter what industry recommend the following logical approach. The first thing in recession-proofing your business is making the phone ring more by using on all service and sales call professional call handling assessment forms so that you're not missing the typical 65% of the opportunities we miss every day by not engaging the customer to see if we can help them improve their comfort, their health, their safety, their property, their financial situation. Then also sending seasonally timed media or direct mail campaigns, or if you're commercial, business to business, based on the fiscal year of the industry you're going after. Next is by making making much more money by pricing your services right. Selling your services based on value, not price, delivering your services right, right-sizing your organization so you have up to 100% utilization, and motivating your staff right. You want to be paying your people like owners, so when you're not around, they're still acting like owners on your behalf. And keeping the business on track by using daily labor tracking as well as financial benchmarks. So that you can implement rules-based management to keep your business on track. And then making more free time for you and your family and for the things that you need to be working on by implementing and managing ready-built HVAC processes and not managing people. Let's take a little bit better look at generating leads right. Now, marketing, which we hear a lot about, is another term for lead generation, which is another term for customer awareness. In other words, if customers aren't aware you're in the biz, then there's no way to make the phone ring more. So your media, your call handling, these are all channels of customer awareness. So what are the 4 key elements of generating your leads right? Well, first, on-site call assessment forms, meaning every service and sales call you go on, you want to make sure that you're getting eyes on the systems so that you can help the customer make a better informed decisions in regards to improving comfort, health, safety, property, or their financial situation. Then implementing lead generation processes, both in your service call handling, but also in systematic reaches into the markets you're trying to go after. Then have a lead handling procedure so you're not dropping any balls and you're identifying where you have the highest conversion rates, which help you know where to sharpen your axe, either in sales or service call handling out in the field. And then naturally tracking and measure your performance. I mean, after all, you should at least be matching or achieving the minimum conversion rates that are found typically in your area in the industry. So the first thing is on-site service and sales call assessment forms to help you engage the customer from a quality control standpoint, to help the customer identify their personal and system-related enhancement opportunities and needs. If you don't walk the system and you don't ask if they have some allergies and someone in the family, you're going to miss an opportunity for whole house air filtration UV light systems, depending on where you are and what part of the country. If you don't, ask questions whether or not the home is unoccupied during the day, the week, the month, of the year, and both people work, kids are in school, and you didn't, and they have an analog thermostat, but you didn't offer them a programmable thermostat, so you take advantage of reset. Um, these assessment forms also help you to explore the customer's options, usually with an upfront price to either enhance their comfort, health, safety, property, and financial situation. So a professional service and sales call handling process we're pretty much aware of when we go to a car dealership or a franchised car repair or even a car wash or a Jiffy Lube place. You'll notice that they use standards so they don't miss opportunities to advise you what your options are. We provide in our program the Service Right Solution Survey form for the technicians to use to systematically engage the customer so that they don't miss an opportunity to then, when they walk the system, get eyes on to point out where they might be able to improve their situation. And also sets the stage for future recommendations. On the residential sales side, that you're selling tech or comfort advisor, we provide them with the Installed Right Solution Survey process that, again, engages the customer, similar to the Service Right Solution Survey form, but then continues with some additional questions in regards to property requirements and financial requirements so that you can choose of the good, better, best premium options that we provide you in the flat rate installation pricing system, to be able to pick which of those four options may be the most ideal for the consumer customer. The commercial service agreement sales assessment survey helps to identify both the service agreement scope of work, but also the customer's unique requirements for response time. Work done on normal hours or after hours. Where security issues. Where do you check in, check out? Areas where the fact that you adhere to standards. The set of survey forms allows you to not only survey the equipment and what their requirements are, but also sit back down with the customer and engage them in open-ended questions. So you have the opportunities to even present differentiation when you ask certain types of open-ended questions. Like, what is your response time requirements? And the customer says, well, right now they're showing up, at the end of the day, I'm missing kids' recitals, and you're telling them how your average response time is 4, but you're about 300 to 400% faster than most contractors. The commercial project sales assessment, quoted work, sometimes this involves field repair, quoted work for that, so these forms are designed for that. They're also designed for equipment replacements, or design build. So it allows you to gather existing system information, including load calc information, but also sit back down with the customer to identify their business, financial, transaction, and timing requirements, so that you can position both your company, but as well as the fact that you'll identify how best to compete and set the stage for future. Now, another key ingredient in lead generation is promoting awareness campaigns. In the spring and the fall, you have your tune-up seasons, where you get into homes, and that's what marketing is all about. In the commercial end of the business, you're calling out with a similar strategy, because when you call, typically you're sending off a letter and then following up on that letter. But in that script that you use when you flush that letter out, you're trying to qualify if there is an opportunity to provide that competitive price to maintain your building. But you're also trying to identify if they need any additional, if they need a quote or a second opinion, or is there something the existing service vendor that they have now can't seem to fix, that they'd like to have you come in and give a look-see. Okay, but in a residential course, you run your tune-up ad spring and fall, but you also want to be you want to be systematically marketing your base, because you're collecting information on every service and sales call that gets plugged into a database to help you become more fine-tuned. So if let's say you found a whole bunch of homes this quarter where they somebody has asthma or allergies, and but they couldn't afford the $2,100 whole house air filtration and UV light system option package that you provided them at that time. Well, you can do a direct mail campaign into those unique opportunities, because you surveyed them using assessment forms. So this, again, is another form of awareness campaigns. But we have a complete set for both residential as well as the business-to-business business development campaigns on the commercial side. The next is pricing your services right. I mean, if you're not breaking down your business by what it, and then identifying the true overheads of what it takes to process your book of business, most companies are overstaffed in overhead. They don't have a program or a process to get competitive. Don't forget, customers buy from us based on perceived value. However, we compete against other contractors that have similar skill sets in view of the customer based on how well we can control our overhead. So if I'm operating at 35% overhead and he's operating at 25 for my installation department, for instance, or a commercial install department, then I can sell at cost all day long and he could be making 10 points. So if he really wanted something, he can actually get it from me because my overheads are too far out of whack. So anyway, pricing your services right is all about knowing your income and expenses by work category, and then allocate the expenses and overhead by work category, and then naturally establish a budgets, overhead recovery, and net profit before tax targets by work category. Sounds complex, but I'll show you we've dummied it down so that you can quickly get pricing systems in your hand without a lot of hoopla. And then help you publish your pricing rates by work category. Now, Budget Pro is one of the tools that we provide our clients in the financial management program, department, where it allows you to establish monthly income and expense forecasting budgeting model to help you manage cash flows, labor loading, and job expenses by offering category. So in other words, what it allows you to do is quickly model your existing book of business so that if you know you're running twice the territory in ads and you had a 5% or a 6% hit rate, and that generated so many revenues, you can actually forecast expanding a marketing program so that it not only tells you what your revenues and profits and all that projection, but also tells you how many technicians you're going to need, so you can actually start planning if you're going to be expanding the marketing campaigns. Same thing on but what this does though, it establishes accurate price rates for all categories of work for both residential and commercial. So whether you're a commercial, you have some construction, you do some negotiated projects, you have a service contract base, and you do a lot of demand service. No matter what your mix is, what you do for offerings. Do you do plan and spec or design build or service agreements or demand service? Well, how you price each one of those buckets is dictated by what it costs for you to process that book of business and what your labor cost rates are and stuff. Now, for pricing systems, especially for residential contractors, we produce a flat rate service and a flat rate installation where we've already got in it all the plugged in defaults, for overhead and for labor, for demand service, for instance, labor efficiency factors. The average technician is only 52% efficient going from January 1 to December 31st because there's so much dead time where you don't have enough work. So when you're looking at demand service, you want to make sure your pricing systems recover those types of overheads. Otherwise, you're sending people home and losing your people. More importantly than that, though, you want to make sure that the company is making a fair profit. So the company's worth something, and you can buy trucks when you need it. A fair profit means not gouging and ripping off people, but providing the overhead recovery, but also dropping enough net profit to the bottom line so I can grow my business, because we grow the business from retained earnings. So if you're not growing with positive cash flow that you can use to expand the business, then you're always locked. So you want to make sure your pricing systems allow you the flexibility. So really all we need from you is your labor cost rate that you put in the envelope for the technician or the selling tech or the comfort advisor or the technician, the chief, the crew chief, or the helper in your pricing, along with your state sales tax rate that you pay at the counter, or if not, at the counter for picking up equipment, materials, parts, and pieces. One of the nice features of our flat rate price book, and the reason why it's received such huge market receptivity and won national awards at ComfortTech 2010 for its design, is that we've already flushed out all the industry defaults for efficiency, benefits, insurance, truck costs, You know, the average gross profit margin typical in your area, the markups you use on parts. You know, for the service repair price book, all we really need from you is you giving us what you pay a lead technician, what it goes in his envelope, and your state tax rate for the parts and pieces. In the Home Comfort Certified System Price Book, we only require your crew chief and helper labor cost rates without benefits insurance. You can leave all the other defaults alone. You give us your local utility rates so we can give you your energy savings tables based on your local hours of operation for heating and cooling. If you don't know your annual operating hours, then we use the ARI tables to do that for you. We provide you a home equity loan rate and local bank loan rate, but you need to give us, if you do in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, same as cash, what the customer is going to pay at the end of those periods, minimum, you know, for minimum interest. And if you do geothermal, then you're going to give us your subs cost and your electrical cost because you're running electrical to the outside of the you know, to the pump set outside. So again, you can buy them direct, or you can actually obtain them already included in the residential service department and installation department track materials that we were just showing you earlier here. Now today, residential service contractors can't make any money at all using the old time and material pricing method. That's why many contractors have already converted over to flat rate service repair pricing so that they can achieve a fair price by recovering all those overheads while without alienating their consumer customer. It includes 99.9% of all the common repairs. It includes technician notes to prevent costly callbacks. It helps service agreement sales by referring how the customer can actually prevent the repair by having periodic maintenance, which points back to your discount option on your service ticket. You can instantly flat rate any kind of an unclassified repair, like a ductwork fix, an insulation fix, you know, using the miscellaneous unclassified. The way the price book is built, it allows you to display the repair hours for the repair task. It gives you a very concise description of the repair, and it provides for retail overtime, preferred, and preferred overtime pricing. The communication piece for the consumer customer is designed to explain to the consumer what caused the failure in simple layman terms, what's the fix in simple layman terms, and then how can they prevent it from happening again, which points again back to your service agreement maintenance option. And of course, on the miscellaneous classified section, you can price up any non-standard task, like relocating condensing unit around the side of the house because they're running into it since they put that fence in, insulation fixes, ductwork fixes, etc. Now, the residential flat rate installation pricing actually allows the contractor to be more competitive. When you're using a published price book and you get low using rebates, it adds more value to the consumer customer thinking, in the thinking is that I'm getting a more expensive system for less money. Plus, you can also use it to game such things as this week only, using a walkaway pricing strategy. This week we're offering whole house air filtration and a $500 rebate. But it's designed to help you upsell. You know, the book is designed in a good, better, best premium configuration, which you typically are pointing to the best system because pound for pound, it provides a higher net monthly cost of ownership. The lower net monthly cost of ownership than the other systems. The investment option worksheet that's built into the pricing for the installation allows you to itemize the installation so you can help you eliminate the prices too high because the customer can see how the price was built and structured. It also allows you to enter the finance table payment and the energy savings payment that are built into the tables in our book so you can show the customer cost of ownership. The AccuPro pricing system accurately allows you to produce a price for an inspection, a full labor, or full coverage contract, or a hybrid of all three for your commercial service agreement customers. It also includes the assessment forms to help you enable within minutes identify the scope of work and how best to compete. The Project Pro quoted repair in design build pricing allows you to, Project Pro allows you to estimate quoted repair, retrofit, design build. It's based on a Microsoft Excel pricing program. Project and customer assessment forms are included, but it really enables you to create a library of stock estimates. So if you're doing a 10-ton package rooftop unit replacement and you're going to do a 5-ton package rooftop replacement, you can. If you're doing a design build where you're adding air conditioning or heating systems that weren't there before, you can use it for that as well. Now, next step is sell your services right. Make your offerings stand out. Implement selling processes. Track and measure performance. And naturally provide continuous sales training to keep your selling techs and comfort advisors, as well as technicians when they go on a call. You got to train in the process. The first thing is to make yourself stand out is a professional website. Today 87% or 8.7 people out of 10 go to the web to buy our HVAC services, to include service repairs, tune-ups, upgrades, system fixes, system enhancements. So the websites that we provide allow you to have your brands right there quickly. Within 3 days, we dress it up in your favorite brands. The customer can do business with you right away, and the 3 things they come looking for. The system's broken, so they're looking for a repair. Things make a noise, so they think they need a tune-up. Or they just got a quote from the existing contractor who they don't trust to do an install, and they're looking for a quote. So, and if they navigate anywhere in the website, then they can easily look at your specials or contact you immediately. And each of the web form pages that we provide you can be directed to either service, installation, or design build, or whoever you want to have assigned those leads. On a service call, the technician provides the customer a handout while he walks the job. After he interviews the customer with the service right solution assessment form and walks the job, the customer has a presentation piece that is used to quickly identify to the customer. On the first page, all the technician does is points to the pages and tells the customer what's on them. Like the first page is why we're the preferred heating and air conditioning contractor in the area. The second page tells you really why you need a maintenance agreement, and this is how much money that you could typically save with one of our maintenance programs. And this is the average life expectancy in this table. For heating and air conditioning equipment, we're in this column here. Now, Mr. Customer, this is a repair and replace decision chart that we and our customers use to determine to either repair or replace. On the left-hand side is repair cost. On the bottom of the chart is age of equipment. So if it falls in the blue area, it makes perfect sense to repair. If it falls in the red area, it makes perfect sense to replace. This next table shows the customer how much money that the average customer saves, even installing the minimum EPA energy efficient equipment. But we remind the customer that we actually have equipment that's 3 to 4 times more efficient than that. If they tell you that little Jimmy has asthma, allergies, and skin irritations, you simply explain that these are the 2 types of system enhancements that are typically installed on systems like yours, but I won't know until I take a look. These are unbelievable guarantees, and this is what you can expect out of today's service plan. I'm going to go out to my truck, get my tools. When I come back, I'd like to meet you at your thermostat, then look at the equipment inside your home, then take a good look at your ductwork distribution system attached to it, and then go outside and take a look at your equipment on the outside. But just as a reminder, Mr. Customer, if I find anything at all that can save you money or improve your operation or make it safer in and around the unit, I'll do my best to explore what your options are. The retail invoice actually is 4 separate presentation pieces. On the front, they actually put in a discount, off the retail prices, because we usually recommend you don't use any of the discount columns in the price book that we provide. You use the retail column or retail overtime. Total it all up, and then you multiply that by usually the industry average discount's 15%. So you put that in, want to pay less, stop, you want to pay less, and then you put that discount there. If you're there on an inspection or a tune-up ad response that we provided you, or a no heat, no cool call, get me leak free, then you're usually filling out the lower left-hand front cover of your service slip. If you're there for maintenance, though, or a tune-up or recommissioning a safety test, then you can use the checkoff list that's on the last page of your invoice. It's a little thicker bond. At the end of the call, you can tear off the customer satisfaction survey form and provide it to the customer by simply saying, Bob, my company's always trying to find a way to improve our customer care call handling. Plus, it's how I get evaluated. Would you mind sending this into the shop when you get a chance? And of course, if they haven't purchased a service agreement from me, then I simply fold the service agreement flyer, which has a $10 coupon off the back for either a future diagnostics fee or a future planned service agreement. The service agreement is a presentation piece to help you communicate the service value, but also provide the customer either an annual or monthly pricing options so that you can easily roll them into a service agreement on a service. The installation presentation portion of the price book that we give you allows you to address within these first 4 sections things that if you don't address, that can expose you to 3 out of 10 times more competition where it shouldn't have been. The first page, you explain who you are, what makes you different, giving them compelling reasons why they should be doing business with you. The second section, you talk about your regulatory compliant approach that you're going to use to get them exactly what they want at the lowest possible cost that's endorsed by the EPA, the local utilities, the local utility companies. And then the third, of course, is a differentiator saying that why your company actually has to set the standards of performance, because 9 out of 10 systems out there have been installed by others with serious defects, and 5 out of 10 systems out there installed by others have serious airflow distribution issues. So if they want to be in the top 10% of the industry, they want to be doing business with you. And of course, when I do my load calc, I'm going to refer back to this section because right behind this tab, I actually have pictures of really poor installations in our neighborhood to show them evidence that it's alive and well in our neighborhoods. And then there's pictures of our good installations right behind that. Then the last section, I'm communicating with the consumer customer about what they can expect before the installation, during the installation, and post-installation from me, the Selling Tech or Comfort Advisor, so that they feel, because they know it's a long-term relationship and they want to make sure that we know that too. Now, the price book itself is also done in a presentation format going from good, better, best to premium. With as you go down the page, the increasing in energy savings is one of the key first benefits to the customer for that type of installation. And then, of course, the finance tables and energy savings tables allow us to show the retail residential customer how affordable it is in your presentation on the price. Now, the installation proposal, is a benefits presentation that reiterates all the benefits that they're going to be getting. If you're using our installed right solution survey assessment process and you discover that balancing dampers should have been installed, well, one of the first things that we address in the installation, that if we're going to be including it, is that we're going to be meeting certain objectives from the installed right solution survey we conducted with the consumer customer, such as improving operating controls or eliminating the 2 hot or cold spots in the areas in the home, eliminating the 2 dry and 2 muggy spots in the home, or improving respiratory indoor air quality because we're putting whole house air filtration. And then, of course, we itemize all the things that are included in a standard install so they all show up as a benefit to the consumer customer. I just check them off as I read them to the customer. Now, there's an asterisk next to each of the checkoffs so that it makes it easier for us to check off those things that are standard install. And then, of course, any accessories that may have been sold, and of course, the installed right solution, unbelievable assurances, warranties, and guarantees. Now, if they didn't buy from us, then you want to make sure you do a last, they didn't buy right then and there because maybe it was a one-legged sale, and the spouse has to also check, weigh in on the final decision. And even though they're going to go with you, you don't want to leave any stone unturned, because if you don't raise the bar one more time, you usually get 3 out of 10 times you have needless competition. So what I do is make sure that I lead the customer which contractor will best meets their needs, so that there's 20 questions. And usually the consumer, if he has another, and I present it to the customer by simply saying, Bob, my company put together this which contractor will best meet your needs as a courtesy to the industry. If you have a contractor that comes in, either works on your roof for the siding, or you're in your pool, or your yard, or your painting, you want to make sure they at least adhere to the standards that we adhere to protect you against the really serious, liability exposure that you're faced to out there in the industry 9 out of 10 times. So most contractors can't even make it past the first 6 questions. On which contractor will best meet your needs. How much insurance do you carry? If you don't carry, do they do background checks? Do they do drug testing? Do they do safety training? Things that if you're not doing it and something should ever happen, then the liability passes right back over to the homeowner or the owner of the commercial uh, building that you're trying to do business with. Um, the referral program presentation, the selling tech or comfort advisor actually goes back in post sale to get referrals, but also make sure the customer's aware of the friends and family program that's available from your company for any referrals that they may provide you. The commercial service agreement presentation, you're typically using this on a first call. Really communicate who you are, what makes you different, and why you have to set the standards of performance, and the kind of monies that your program can save them. So when you bring back down the pictures from the roof, you can always refer back to your saving, the ash-free savings tables. And we also arm you with, going from 2 tons up to say 200 tons. The cost of operating within your neighborhood. We give you an actual tool that you can use. The beautiful thing is that let's say you get 30 tons of air conditioning and you can point to a number, and then you can point to this table showing you the dash rate says you're going to be spending up to 50% more than that because of this, and you show them the pictures of the dirty heat transfer surfaces or frost or proof that the unit's not properly charged. The commercial service proposal presentation. Today, customers don't like things that look like contracts, so this is more of a consultative agreement, even though it's a legal binding contract with all the terms and conditions and schedules to make it legit. But it really starts off with the benefits that you bring to the table for savings. The table of content reads like a benefit section as well. So this is proven to help close more service agreements. Again, it only takes a few minutes to do a couple of global commands, put your company all through it and the customer's name all through it, so that you can customize these even with references for each industry type. So it's very quick tool that we can help you build. It has tasking sheets for all, for sales tasking, but we also have AccuTask on the operating side that you give to your technicians to go out and make sure that they adhere to the ASHRAE 80 standards for maintenance. If it's a project, first time meeting with the customer, then we talk about the Guardian Design Build program or the quoted project program to really communicate again who you are and what makes you different and how you through this program take complete control and responsibility for everything in the customer satisfaction. And then of course the proposal templates that we provide you are also part of your presentation piece. To communicate the benefits to the customer. I mean, the purpose and the benefits of your solution to the customer, and a very quick matrix of what's included, what's not included, and then of course the appropriate payment terms and terms and conditions so that it looks professional. Delivering your services right is the next step, and it is making sure you mobilize. You have mobilization procedures, standard delivery procedures, startup test and verification procedures, and you track and measure daily labor and financial performance benchmarks. Now, written standard delivery procedures. These procedures we provide you for all work categories, whether it be residential demand service agreements, installations, commercial service agreements, design quoted work, design build. So going from a lead right to a job closeout, you want a how-to book for your staff to use so that everybody in the food chain responsible for delivering the work from inception to close knows exactly what their roles are and what forms to use, what process to use, so that they can be held accountable. It reduces mobilization and human errors, mistasking, and naturally business risk. We provide these to you in Word, so you can customize them in case you already have some forms that you'd like to use or modify slightly with some of the ideas that we bring to the table. But suffice it to say that these are best practice types of processes that you would actually be obtaining even if you bought a franchise, whether residential or commercial. It also improves quality control via the startup test and verification procedure, especially on quoted work and jobs, so that you can reduce the callbacks, plus you have a means of doing warranty transfer. Right sizing your staff right. establish a one year and monthly budget, forecasting labor requirements. You want to staff up to 100% utilization. In other words, everybody has to have a job. We don't staff our company from the top and work our way down. We staff it from the ground and work our way up. How many people do I need to process the book of business is what you need to be thinking about. Naturally, we have technicians doing work, but how about overhead? We want to make sure that we never let that go out of control, because that's where we compete face to face with our key competitors. So if we don't watch that one single number, our overheads, because we're not paying attention to utilization, then we could actually put ourselves in a position where we can't compete. So Budget Pro is a tool to create a 1 year monthly budget. So you have actually 12 months rolled up into a 1 year budget. So it's based on Excel. It's simple to set up. Establish a 1 year monthly income and expense forecasting budgeting model to help manage the cash flows, labor loading, and job expenses by work category. So if you know you're picking up a book of business, more of it, or absorbing another contractor's book of business, this will tell you how many technicians or how many installers or how many people that you're going to require to process and to execute the deliverables. It also establishes a forecast of your labor requirements based on future revenues. Staffing up to 100% utilization. Now, for each product category in our Budget Pro, it actually shows you how many people are required to actually execute the book of business that you're projecting going into next year, so that you never overstaff, and you can also plan for staffing. Especially if you know that business will be picking up. Maybe you've already pruned. When times are slow and it's time to bring it up, you have to start the hiring process so you can bring on the right talent. Motivating your staff right. We said earlier that one of the ways you do that is making sure you pay your people like owners, so that they act like you when you're not around. So professionalize your business is one motivation. Performance job descriptions that doubles objective evaluations is another. And performance-based pay is one of the ways to lock in people to proven processes and standards. So once they get on that standards, and when they start, the company starts making more money because of the fact that we're doing work professionally and we're not leaving rocks unturned, they tend to not want to go back because that would affect their pay. Then naturally, performance-based pay is one of the easiest ways to track and measure performance, because you usually do a debrief at the end of each call, at the end of each day, or at the end of each job. Now, to professionalize your business and to give people more motivation, then studies show that there's nothing more motivating than knowing that your company is using industry-approved customer, company, employee-friendly written standards for residential and commercial work, so that they can pass their red face test. It is all about the customer. It is all about the company and the employees. All of us together make up the business ethics and the standards to which we adhere to. Performance-based job descriptions. We provide you with a complete set of best practice Microsoft Word-based performance-based job descriptions that actually help you establish job performance expectations and provide you with an objective individual evaluation. So don't just tell people what you want them to do and their responsibilities, but tell them how you want them to behave. So if it's clean paperwork you're looking for and legible paperwork, then that's got to be in there. If they're managers, then they have to be motivating people versus people quitting. So there's an objective means for you to have an evaluation impromptu, so you're not spending a lot of time and wasting energy for both the employee or the company for doing evaluations. So having the means of knowing that when someone is not doing their job or in the manner in which you need them to have them done, then you can sit right down very quickly and have an objective discussion about where they stand versus what you've hired them to do. Performance-based pay, we provide you with a complete set of best practice Microsoft Word-based performance-based pay plans. Whether you're a manager, a general manager, a service department manager, or a comfort advisor, a selling tech, or a technician or installer, or you answer the phones in the office, performance-based pay plans are designed to help control the behavior of how your people should operate and conduct themselves within your business per your standards. Keeping your business on track, establishing financial benchmarks, establishing daily labor benchmarks, most companies today, as a sidebar, most companies today don't even look at their financials that often. Most companies today manage how efficient their labor, technicians as well as installers or people in the field, how efficient are they being utilized? I need to beat the 52% efficiency in technicians. So by looking at the daily individual, for instance, let's say that they call in at the end of the day, and they call in at the end of each call, and let's say a technician goes on 4 calls, he bills out 6.5 hours. Well, that divided by 8 that I paid him makes him 81% efficient. Okay, so he's well above the 52% that's on average. So if he keeps that up, maybe he gets an extra $2 to $3 an hour, depending on where he beat the company benchmark, which typically is around about an hour, 1.1 hours, which it should be 2 to 2.5 hours. Which, again, we'll talk about more later in some other sessions here. Monitoring and adjusting resources. If you have a technician out there who's losing you money because his average ticket's too low, he's not following the process, he's not making sure that he's preventing the liabilities on repairs, by doing a recommissioning and safety test, if he's not putting a discount on every ticket like he's supposed to, which is a standard in the company so that you can offer a service agreement on every call, then sometimes you have to make an adjustment because you can't continue to lose money like that. So, but others, a lot of times it's just most employees don't make errors in the field because of attitude. Okay, most make errors because of a misunderstanding on how to use the tools. So monitoring on a daily basis allows you to know who to go coach, who to get out there and go see. Also, it tells you when to hire. It tells you when the helper's not helping. So, I mean, so much is told by daily labor productivity benchmarks, which, by the way, is managed by the employees, not the company. The employees manage this and they report at the end of the call, end of the day, or end of the job. So we're provided this information from them prior to them getting their next work assignment. And then, of course, you want to publish your performance to goals, so that helps motivate as well. You want to strive to beat your company's unique financial benchmarks. Now, in our program, and well, actually, free to you, you can actually, well, you told you earlier, you can take that business improvement plan, but these are based on benchmarking yourself to industry best practice. You may not be there. Your overheads may be a little bit different. So then you'll know where you stand as far as where the opportunities are within your business. So we provide you the residential key performance indicators, commercial key performance indicators for all work categories and stuff. So help you with that. Now, establishing daily labor benchmarks, you have to understand that most companies fail. I'm going to concentrate on the fail part, to monitor and measure daily labor efficiencies. I can't tell you how many clients of ours, have actually gone back into their own bank accounts, take money out that should have been retained earnings, and paid for labor that should have been let go or reduced or sent home. There's no need for that type of stuff to be happening if you simply just watch labor efficiencies. Making sure you're using the right process so you can bill out properly and you're not leaving work undone that should have been done per the ASHRAE or the Better Business Bureau standards. And then, of course, you want to be looking at your lead conversion efficiencies. For instance, in the industry, the average contractor is picking up 8 out of 10 into a service agreement if you're selling them based on a monthly basis and offering a discount on every ticket. And picking up another 2 out of 10 calls where they're getting quoted work simply by walking the systems, using a professional service or professional sales call handling process. But you need to be looking at your conversion rates, because if you're not picking up the least and minimum in your industry, then you're leaving money on the table. That means you're sending people out and you're missing your opportunities. So without measure, you can't establish performance benchmarks. And without benchmarks, you cannot make meaningful operating improvements or really maximize the company revenue and profit opportunity. Now, establishing daily labor benchmarks is simply using the daily call tracker and asking the technician or the installer or the field person questions. Even a technician who does 2 service calls and then works on a quoted job, still you're tracking the billable hours that he did to the customer or to the job, combined total divided by 8 hours for the day that we paid them, or if they paid overtime, the 10 hours today that we paid them. How efficient are they? Because if they can maintain higher than 52% efficient, then usually that translates into more money per hour. And then, of course, for each technician and installer, you want to record and document and post on a goal board within a common area how productive each member of your team is, and this is posted for all to see. And it tends to lend itself to competition. The older guys, they look and they see the younger guys doing much better per ticket. Well, that kind of motivates them that, that's bull. They know more, so why wouldn't they be? Anyway, keeping your business on track. The best part about efficiency benchmarks, whether they're labor or financial, is that it helps you stay on track by asking the right business questions regarding your people and your business processes. But you use your daily benchmarks to help you know who to go coach your team to success. Now, do you think that if you followed the recession-proofing ready-built HVAC process that we presented, that you could make your phone ring more, make more money, or have more free time with your family? And most contractors say resounding yes. The benefits of a ready-built program actually is to really allow you to really open up the faucet through improved lead generation. What goes into the bucket is better eating because of the selling process you use, and you stop all the leaks so you can actually make the estimated gross profit margin you have in your pricing systems, whether you're residential or commercial, using the pricing systems that we showed you. Now let's spend a couple of minutes just to review the ready-built HVAC contractor options that you have available to you to be able to obtain these recession-proofing retail, residential, and commercial service programs. So the two best ready-built HVAC program options that have the highest value as perceived by our contractor clientele comes with or without a website. So with website in all 6 departments, that's residential service, residential installation, commercial service, project design build, financial management, and human resource management. With websites $295, without a website it's $225, but for a limited time we're offering the website and all 6 departments for the reduced price of $225 a month. So at the without the website rate, so you're sort of getting that free. We offer 2 other options for residential and commercial contractors with or without a website. $210 a month for both departments and a website, or $149 a month without the website in just the 2 departmental tracks. You can review the websites that we build for you at ReadyBuiltHVACWebsites.com. Again, ReadyBuiltHVACWebsites.com. Just take a look. If you need to see more, we have some that you can take a peek at in different brands. Or you can contact us directly. Visit us at growmyhvac.com. Take a look. Kick the tires on the different programs, the options. In the very least, at least get the price books in place so you can buy those independently. But if you subscribe to any of the residential departments, they include, no matter which program you bought, include both price book sets, which is the flat rate service repair and the flat rate installation. So I certainly look forward to seeing you in a future Focus on Profit webinar.